So there it is, and I'll cut this video outside of that. So now, anyways, welcome to the second part of the video. This is on materials and how to apply them. We'll move into grass in the next video. All right, so as we can see, we went ahead and picked that material right there. We can go over here into, and when you see that material, it's going to apply to everything that is that color. As you can see over here, there's this little arrow here. See, this is our hierarchy. So as you can see from the last video, when we imported this, we got the hierarchy of the objects coming in. Now, this is not the perfect scenario. If you want to move things around, I would suggest trying to deal with bringing in collapsed materials. And I'll get into the reasons why a little later. But it's mainly for moving things. So as you can see right here, I can click on road. And I can hit 4, which is move. And you see the move button maybe they fixed this. I don't think so though. Yeah, so as you can see, oh well, they did fix it a little bit. So maybe you can adjust a little bit. So maybe they fixed that. Before you would have to embed, and it might just be with move that this is working. Let's see if we try rotate. Yeah, it's, oh well, that's an object. Let's try rotate. Yeah, it seems to be working out. Maybe they updated this feature, but before you had to embed. No, it seems to be working there. You had to embed inside of the object. So be sure to remember that if you do run into that problem. We might run into that problem in this tutorial, but we will see. Anyway, so back to material. Over here you'll see your materials. We're going to want a brick. And they have a bunch of different bricks here. We're just going to use, Fort Worth has this kind of almost Roman brick. It's more like this one here. That kind of long, skinny. Not quite that skinny. I mean, that even looks like Roman mortaring. So we're going to go for this one. And we seem to already see that there's quite a few issues with it. And I think we're going to have to pick individually. Let's see. That's that object. We are going to need to rotate that material. And see, when you've gone inside, the one thing that was really fouling me up is you can't go out. So it's over here. So this is your hierarchy right here. And so going out of it is how you get that. So we can rotate it a little bit. We're not going to get that great of a job. I mean, seemingly we're going to have to. This isn't UV wrap. So what you're going to have to do to get these proper is you're going to have to go back into your software and fix that. You can separate these out individually. Isolate, unlink. So this is what you would do. Now, the easier way is to come back into your rendering over here and understand that these surfaces right here, yeah, look, I'm touching my face, need to be exploded out. So we explode that. We need to remove. Oh, so it looks like they're grouped. That's what it is. So that surface right there needs to be different. So we have brick facade here. We're going to drop down another one. and we're going to call it brick facade 02. All right, and then we're going to switch to that one to here. We're going to give it its new color. Doesn't matter what color it is. Maybe you want to stick with some kind of nomenclature. And so now we have these two different ones because they're going to be in two different planes. These are going to be okay, I think. At least we can work with them back and forth. Now what you're going to do is you're going to highlight again. Export that FBX back out. Main thing is to deal with these problems as you see them, so that I mean, I could have set it up perfectly, but it's good that we can deal with them together. All right, and so now we're going to do new file. I also immediately also see a problem. Like, you see these. If we apply that brick to there, you see it applies to back there as well. So everything with that material. So we're going to have to separate that out as well. So let's take that surface there. And we're going to, where's that? It's going to be, what is that called? It's under build. So we're going to make a new surface. And we're going to call it stucco, which who knows if that's what it really is, 01. And we're going to give that a kind of cyan color. And then we're going to go to this side. And we're going to call this, we're going to duplicate that layer. Call it stucco 2, and we know we're going to need another one too. We're going to call this stucco 3. We need to change those materials just slightly. Well, you know, I'm over here changing them. You can't see that page. Okay, and then I'm going to change the last one slightly. Right. Looks like that was linked to that one. And then we're going to switch this one to stucco 2. We're going to link this one to stucco 3, or 1 in this case. No, that's going to be 3. And then we're going to go back over to this guy. We need another one. Oh, go ahead and delete that out. We're going to call this stucco. Oh, actually, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to duplicate that layer. Call it stucco 4. And we're going to, looks like these are all grouped. That's going to make it a lot easier. Stucco 4. Make sure you change that material slightly. Well, that's funny. Well, okay, so these seem to be linked. That's a problem. Okay, so we're going to go back a little bit. I'm going to pause. All right, so that was a lesson learned. And so what that told us is we cannot double the layer. We can't duplicate the layer. So I don't know why Rhino's doing that. So we're just going to go ahead and hit new layer. We're going to call it stucco 02. We're going to give it its own color. I guess that's a new feature on 6. Okay, so that's stucco 02, stucco 03. It's going to, so make sure all those colors are different. That's very important. We're going to have to do this to the doors as well. And stucco. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I went 1 over. Okay, and so you know how to do this. I'm going to pause and do this real quick. Alright, as you can see, you should have these 3 different colors like this. And we know we want those distinct. Now we're going to do the windows. Do the same thing. Every window in a different plane you change. So we're going to pause. Okay, so as you can see, I have 5 window doors. And they all have a different color. So we know that they're all in the same plane, and that's what we're going to be using. There, I go touch my face again. We have to also do that to this materials down here, these walls. So anything, maybe not, but we definitely need to do to the box. So we're going to do that real quick. And a quick note from doing this for a long time. When you're adding these new layers, just hit new layer, and then because you don't want to rewrite all the time, you want to go back into this accent and copy that with Control C, just up to the 0. It makes your life a little bit easier. And so when you go to the new layer, you just press that, and you hit 2, and there's your new layer. So I'm going to pause real quick. Just, to unpause real quick and say, you just really need to make everything different. As you can see, I exposed the sides, the sidewalks on here, and you see the inside concrete piece is a different color. In a sense, they probably are going to be similar in kind of asphalt, but just for your own purposes, you're going to want to change them later. Maybe you want to take that off. So we're going to change that layer right there. From side to a different thing, and we're going to give it some random color. And so this will just kind of make your life easier. So everything's a different color. You could get real specific, and if you want to do these separately, I don't think they're going to be bad coming in, so I think we're pretty good here. There seems to be also a kind of surface under there. We can get rid of that. Ooh. That's because it's interfering with the base model. That's going to be okay. The base is just Rhino does a kind of plane here, and that's what you're seeing that back facing interfering with that. Now, if you want to kind of get rid of that to a certain degree, what you can do is extend that out a bit, and then give it a thickness. Make sure you own that layer. Give it a thickness of, I don't know, 2 inches. Probably negative 2 inches. And see, you're still getting some of that back facing because that surface is on top there. But now you shouldn't get that. Let's switch that back to road. So you don't get that back facing anymore. Alright, so we should be pretty good. Looks like there's some back facing happening over there underneath, but we don't need to really worry about that because we're just going to be inside this area right here. To be safe, let's go ahead and choose these. Those actually should be fine. The thickness we'll get from inside of Twinmotion. We should be pretty good now. So everything's kind of set up. Let's go ahead and export again to get back into Twinmotion. There we go. FBX again. And let's go back into Twinmotion. And we're going to pause it real quick and say, hey, that's the wrap for part 2 of materials in Twinmotion. We're going to move to the next one, and I will see you in a few minutes.